Peace. So we just recently watched a movie called Push, and the movie sparked some serious conversation between me and Era. Um, I like Push and the dynamic of it, like how it explains superpowers and stuff like that. So if you don't know, it's an old movie. During the time when it came out, which is like 2009, I wasn't watching TV at that time. So I guess it's probably why I hadn't heard of it. So we just recently discovered it on Amazon Prime. And it sparked a big discussion between me and Era about Push versus Marvel and DC. And so we just kind of wanted to bring that conversation here because I have a standpoint on it, and I think that Errol have a standpoint on it, but he feels offended that I said that I like the way it conveyed the message more than the way DC and Marvel conveys it. So we're going to have this conversation here and now today. Okay. So do you want to say anything to start off on your point before we...
Yes. With the movie Push, which is dealing with different types of abilities that not all humans or beings tap into. Of course, it picked up on some key points like telepathy and what do you call it? Clairvoyance and able to
psychometry,
able to see the future.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I do agree with that. But my thing is that in DC and Marvel, since all of it was taken from the ancients, our ancient 93rd original, is that you have to really go into DC and Marvel and research where they originally got these, like for example, Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate is a fictional DC character who gets his source of power or what you call magic from Nabu. And Nabu, if you study ancient history, he's a ancient Mesopotamian Samaritan god. Or, for example, the Watchers. Watchers, of course, if you go back and study ancient nine ether Sumerian, you'll run into AnuKi, Nargo, Riskago, and but where Marvel gets their Watcher from, called I hope I'm saying it right. It's called Utah or the Eternals. But you have to really go in and decipher and really put things in perspective. It's not that I don't have anything against Push or DC and Marvel, but my argument in that is that you have to really go and research in regards to where the makers of DC and Marvel get their knowledge from, even though they don't want to give the ancients credit, and they want to say that they're the creators when in all originality they're not actually the creator, but they got it from a source.
Okay, but even according to what you're saying, like everything comes from a source, right? So my position on that was, or is, from a standpoint of a teacher. Like, I'm teaching class with my children, for example, right? I'm looking at Push as a movie that is not over the top in its entertainment factor. as far as like the images that they giving you. Like when I'm explaining our gifts, for example, Baba taught us about the 4 higher senses: psychometry, intuition, clairvoyance, and telepathy. So the movie Push, even though they do focus on other gifts, which are other gifts that, like, so the 4 higher senses everybody have, but the other gifts not everybody have access to the other gifts. Like, it's something that you have to either, I guess, like be born into or develop, like learn. Like you really have to learn and develop that gift. But these other ones is like they already like dormant within you. You just have to activate them, right? So when I'm teaching my children about those 4 higher senses, when I saw Push, it was like, whoa, like this is a good way to show them, because it's not over the top. My thing is like, when you watching movies like Marvel and DC, it's not to say that you can't access the powers that they speaking of, but it's the way that they dramatize it. That when you telling somebody who, let's just say, who haven't done the research, and you're trying to explain this to them, that you have these gifts for real. Like this, I know it's a movie, but you really have access to these gifts. When you look at movies like that and you tell them they can do these things, they sit here thinking like, oh, I can, shoot fire out my hand and beams out my hand. You know what I'm saying? And so if they practice these things and then it don't happen in that way that they see it in the movie, it makes them feel like it's not true. Whereas Push gave it a more realistic look to the gifts. Yes, they did some dramatization for the movie factor, for entertainment purposes, but at the end of the day, when you look at it, you can make the connection between when somebody is clairvoyant or somebody is using telepathy, or when somebody is what was the Watchers? Not the Watchers. Psychometry, the sniffers. So like that was something too. They kind of made it very simplified as well. Like the names that they gave them was like basically, it was basically a way to like relate to the gift versus the name, like the actual name of them. They gave them names like sniffers or movers or, things like that. So the movers would be like the ones that had telekinesis and they can move objects and people and things like that. The sniffers was the ones who had psychometry, which they can touch objects or sniff them, smell them, whatever, and know things about that person. So these are actually gifts that we actually have latent within us. And on smaller scales, I have used psychometry, but in ways that I was practicing, I'm not going to lie, it was probably not the best way to practice using the gifts, but it made me know, like, yeah, you really actually have access to this. One of the most common gifts that people have that they use all the time is intuition. That's a very common one that people have. A lot of people ignore it. Hell, I was a person that ignored my intuition a lot of times before. But they made the gifts relatable. That was my point. And DC and Marvel, like, come on, like, I like DC and Marvel. I watch the movies, and we have discussed this. I like Marvel because of the dramatics, the action. They get right to the point. But I like that DC explain, what's going on in the movie. I like their storylines. So I like it, but the Push just Push had the edge because it gave a more realistic view of how gifts would look if somebody was actually doing it themselves in what they say IRL, in real life. You know what I mean? But I see you over here making the faces at me. What?
Hold.
What?
For example, Marvel, Thanos, when he collected the stones, Thanos possesses the ability of telekinesis, telepathy, and the ability to manipulate matter and energy. He also has a healing factor, so he's able to heal himself.
Okay. Is this why you was looking at me like that? Because if you want to use that argument, then we could also say that looking at the characters, it's not relatable. Because who walking around this mug looking like Thanos? But I'm saying in a movie, they use actual, like, human beings and showing the actual human beings, not transforming into some monstrous looking thing or whatever. Like, it was actually like human beings doing these things and using their gifts. in these movies, they got like beings that don't look like you, so it makes you feel like it's not something you can do.
But Thanos was a being from another planet.
But look at him.
So
I'm saying, who walking around here looking like Thanos?
Of course, he's not going to be relatable with, as far as earthly aspect.
Right, and that was my point.
He's from the cosmos, another planet.
Right, and I'm saying,
other than Earth.
Okay, and you and I both know there are other beings here that don't look humanoid, just like it's the ones that do look humanoid. My point is, when from a perspective of teaching someone that they also have these gifts, that it's a movie, but it's relatable to you in the sense that you actually can do these things yourself. When you're teaching somebody that, and you using, let's just say that these are the only 3 tools that you have. You got the movie Push, you got, or visual aids, should I say. You got the movie Push, you got Marvel movies, and you got DC movies. If you looking at these movies, and you using this for like to teach people like, hey, this is what you can do. Like, if a person is looking at this, which one do you think a person gonna be able to relate to more? Beings that don't look like them is running around in masks and tights, or beings that look like them in their everyday street where their everyday issues and problems are like, which one you gonna relate to more? That was my thing.
But for example, the Marvel movie, The Eternals. Eternals were humans, but really they're immortal. They're that were dormant on Earth, and they look like regular human beings.
Okay, now I don't remember
with
the movie.
Gifts.
But I don't remember the movie Eternals like that. I told you it was a long time ago and I don't really remember it. But, okay, granted that you got that one movie that you can use for that.
That one movie?
That one movie. Because, like, when you think about all of the other ones, like, okay, like we talked about Bruce Wayne and Iron Stark. The average person looking at that is not gonna feel like they can do that, because how do they get their gifts? They use their money.
Yeah, use their money.
Right. So I'm saying, like, the average person looking at that, like, okay, I'd never be able to do that.
They're using tech, like Tony Stark. He's using a typho. He's using nanotechnology.
Okay, but the reason why they have access to these gifts that they basically, like the man-made versions of it, is because of their money. The average person watching that is not going to be able to relate to that as far as like looking at themselves and seeing themselves in that. The movie Push, they using everyday people with like everyday situations, life situations, look like, you and me type of people. Like, not some enhanced body features, not running around with tights and masks, not getting bit by some radioactive spider and then all of a sudden able to swing from buildings. Like, these are everyday people that were born with gifts, and they even take you through the steps, like showing you how when they weren't able, with like if they didn't like focus or concentrate and master their gifts, what it looked like versus those who had time. Like, in the movie, it was this government called the Division, which I thought was interesting too. They called it Division, like to divide, to separate. Excuse me. So
was that in the movie Push?
That was in Push.
Division. Okay.
Yeah. So the beings that was in the Division that had their gifts, and they was like raw at it. They mastered their gifts. Like the Asian mafia, like how the girl and the 2 brothers, how they mastered their gifts. They was really good at their gifts. The difference between them and the regular people who hadn't mastered their gifts, which was pretty much like the 2 stars, like the little girl that was 13 and the dude, I forgot. The one who did he play?
Who?
The dude, the main character. Who did he play? You said it.
He played
Captain America.
Captain America.
Okay.
Steve Rogers.
Okay. So him, like, they hadn't really practiced their gifts. Why? Because they had a lot of trauma stored up in them. They had a lot of anger. They didn't have a lot of focus. So those things was holding them back from their gifts. But the other people who didn't have, like, these hang-ups, and, like, the vision was basically, like, trying to make them feel like, they can do this. Like, if they didn't like focus or concentrate and master their gifts, what it looked like versus those who had time. Like, the average person looking at that is not going to be able to relate to that as far as like looking at themselves in that. The movie they had to get them this drug to enhance them, which the drug looked a lot like melanin, or whatever the chemical compound that they was giving. It looked a lot like melanin. It was a black substance that was supposed to enhance their gifts. But everybody was dying from taking it except for that one lady. But it wasn't the drug that was making them master their gifts. Because like the brother that was like heading the operation, he didn't take the drug, and he was powerful with his gifts. He was a pusher. He was like one of the ones that push. He can use telepathy and push thoughts in your mind and make you see or think things that's not true and stuff like that. So, but he was good at his gift. So was the other dude, the one that mastered telekinesis, what they call them, the movers. He was raw at his gift, and he didn't take the drug. But the reason why is because the difference is the government allowed them to have all their focus and concentration on their gifts, so they were able to master it. That's the difference. In everyday life, people worried about bills and other things, and they had their traumas from like their parents getting killed and stuff like that. So like, or unalive. I know we can't say that on here, but like they had their traumas and stuff, which kept them from concentrating and focusing so that they could master their gifts. The division and the Asian mafia or whatever, like, they was able to concentrate and focus on their gifts because they didn't have all them worries. The Asian mafia, like, they had money, so he was able to let his children just practice their gifts. They didn't have to worry about how they gonna eat or how they gonna pay their bills and this and the third. They could just practice their gifts. And a lot like everyday life, the reason why a lot of us have not tapped into those gifts is because we don't have time. We working 9 to 5s, we taking care of family life, we got traumas we dealing with that's on our mind, that's keeping our focus off of our gifts and keeping us distracted. So that's what I'm saying. It's more relatable. Like in the movies, like in DC and Marvel movies, that it's not relatable in a sense. Like it's more, it just feel like, I know it comes from somewhere, I know it stems from a source, but it's not relatable in the sense of how they present it. That's what I'm saying.
No. You're leaving out several sources, movies. Like, for example, X-Men.
Okay.
Professor Xavier. You know who Professor Charles Xavier is? He's a powerful mutant who has the gift of he's a telepathic mutant.
Okay.
He's able to read minds, to control thoughts, to manipulate folks, to get them to do whatever he deems necessary. What he did is he formed a school, and this school is known as Xavier. A team of mutants. He formed a school.
I know.
Specialized for mutants to come, so that they can train, so they can fully develop their skills, and of course he did therapy, so that they be able to control their skills and use it in a productive manner, or to be able to use it at will.
But you see the indoctrination even in that. Calling them mutants. That's even indoctrination.
Well, who called them mutants? The government called them mutants.
But I'm saying, but the message is still clear regardless of who calling them that. Okay, well, the government in the movie called them pushers and movers and seers and stitchers. It wasn't like things that was like that'll make you turn away from it. Like somebody like, I don't want to be a mutant. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not relatable. Like, I know you shaking your head, but it's not relatable for us to understand our gifts. It causes, like, so when you saying certain keywords, like this is the thing, like with English language, when you saying certain keywords and people have like emotional attachments to those words and stuff like that, when you hear somebody say, oh, they mutants, that don't make you want to be a part of that.
Read it. Xavier is a mutant, a member of a subspecies of humanity born with superhuman ability. He's one of the most powerful telepaths in the world, capable of reading and controlling minds, creating illusion, and projecting his thoughts over vast distances.
Okay. And that's something that's what telepathy is, right? But here it is in this movie, you got this one person that can do this. In the movie Pushers, you got multiple people.
No, he's not just the one person that can do it. He's the one person who was
Well, the most powerful person that could do it.
one of the most powerful.
One of the most powerful. Okay.
There are others.
Who? Which one?
Like Jean Grey.
Okay.
There's several others.
But this is what I'm saying. In the movie Push, it's not like just like they showed the levels of like how you can be when you master it versus when you haven't mastered it. But it wasn't just, oh, this person got this gift. It was like several people that was scattered out all over the world got these gifts. So it's not something that that's what I'm saying. It's not something that make you feel isolated. Like, oh, it's just if you only can be a part of this tribe, or you only can be a part of this to have this gift. It's like, or you got to go to the school of Xavier to master your gifts. Like, it just seemed more relatable.
Like what you said. It's like it's just like what you said. Certain individuals were able to master their gifts because they didn't have the load of the 9 to 5 and all that stuff and
life.
That's what Xavier's school of learning was. It was you go there, you live there, they feed you and all that stuff, and he, of course, he counsels you, and then you have the ability to fully tap into your gift because you don't have the worries. You live in there.
Okay, but you also, you have to find your way to this, and be accepted into this. Versus
you don't find your way, he'll find you.
Okay, well, whatever. Find your way. Whatever it is, however you want to put it, it's not like you got these gifts and you find a way to focus on them or hone. Because like you seen, they was like practicing their gifts. They just hadn't got as good at it. Actually, throughout the movie, if you notice, the character that was Nick. Okay, so I'm trying to think of their names, but Nick. Throughout the movie, at the beginning, he was barely able to roll over a dice. But then by the end of the movie, he was learning from the other dude, the one that was in the division that had mastered his telekinesis. He was like, just from interacting with him, he was learning more about what he could do. And there was a natural flow versus, like I said, it's just, I'm not knocking. Like, I feel like you saying that I'm like knocking. I like the movies for entertainment purposes, and I do know that they stem from a real source. My whole thing is that the way that it's presented would just make people feel like it's not something that they could do.
Well, that's how DC and Marvel set up. They set up in a way to make fun or to over exaggerate or whatever, to get folks thrown off to saying, and they say, oh no, this is not real, this is sci-fi. Throw people. It's like they put the truth in DC and Marvel, but they dramatize it, and they make it in such a way where it seems fake or unbelievable, or that's just
right. That's my point. That's my point.
But it's
doing it that
way, throw folks off.
Right, and so that's why I was saying when I'm explaining this, I feel like Push would be a good example to explain the gifts and to show in a more relatable way. That's all I'm saying. That's my whole thing. It's just it seems more relatable. The presentation is more relatable to humans on this earth. That's all I was saying. You get a lot of fancy, blowing stuff up and people, turning green and swelling into big monsters and all this type of stuff. You get a lot of just like stuff like this. And don't get me wrong, because like Hulk is my dude, right? Don't get it twisted. But when somebody looking at that, they man is not going to, I can do that. Don't get me angry. I'm going to turn into a big green monster. Like, nobody's thinking that. They watching it for entertainment. When you watch a movie like Push, it like you, especially if you got any type of knowledge of like certain gifts. If you don't, somebody could use that for an example to show you, like, okay, let me show you. Let me tell you. So in the movie, the movers could manipulate objects with their minds, which is basically telekinesis, right? An advanced mover can create powerful blasts force fields and protective shields. So he learned that from the dude that was in the division, like the dude Nick that was originally like the star. He learned that from the other dude. The other dude was blocking bullets, like creating shields.
Power blasts and shields.
Yeah.
Okay. DC, the Green Lantern Corps. Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
Right.
Okay. But again, you see how it makes it seem like it's so exclusive though. Like you got to be a part of this group to do these things. This movie was basically saying like anybody can have these gifts. Like you were born with these gifts. You just got to be able to concentrate, focus, and master them.
I mean, of course you got to be, for example, in the Green Lantern Corps, because it only picks certain ones. Like there's the ring that goes around and finds certain people.
Okay.
Not everyone can wear the ring.
Okay.
It finds certain people. It goes to different planets. It may go on Earth. It may go to this planet, to find certain people.
Okay.
Just like the movie Push. It's like not everyone is born with their gifts.
So this is what I gathered. Like, so they say like they walking amongst the humans. So yeah, in a sense they saying that like not everyone has the gifts. That's probably about the only thing that I would disagree with them on. But I would say how you could interpret
so
that
everyone
is,
does have a gift, but it's
late, right? It's they not tapped into it. Right. That's how I would interpret that, because so we know, Baba speaks, or talk about the barytheric gland, not to be mistaken with the Bartholin gland that's in the, the private areas, the vagina. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the barytheric gland. You can look this up. It's located basically where the pineal gland is located, and so this gland is responsible for your 4 higher senses, which is as we said earlier, telepathy, intuition, clairvoyance, and psychometry. So this is what I feel. I feel like those gifts in particular, everybody is born with, right? But they're dormant. You still got like the nerve endings from them, but they're dormant because the gland was removed from us, right? So you still have the dormant nerve endings that allows you to be able to tap into that, right? But then you got other gifts that, and that's funny. Okay, other gifts that I feel like probably would be gifts that maybe not everyone have, like the bleeders. Right, that's a perfect example. Not everybody. That'll be somebody who got like a special gift, like not something that's already within them. I feel like that's something that they didn't separate out for the intensive purpose of the movie. Like everybody on the planet not accessing these gifts, so they just showing like the ones who are. But I feel like the ones like the bleeders, they emit high pitched sonic vibrations that rupture the target's blood vessels. And they were often employed as assassins because they could just basically come and emit that tone and basically kill you just from the sound, from the frequency.
It sounds like a character. I forget the name of the character in the X-Men. He has high pitched sound. He screams and they're able to rupture eardrums and really do a lot of damage to different objects in the body. Okay, and I'm like I said, I'm not I am not disputing that Marvel and DC have like cool characters and stuff like that. What I'm saying is they're not relatable to the everyday person. That's just my thoughts on it. When I'm looking at the movie Push, I see people that they really blend into like the world, and you see them and you won't know that they got these gifts, which is realistic. Like some of us, like we access certain gifts. And we walk around, people may not even know that we accessing these gifts. They don't even know what we doing. So that's why I say it seems more relatable than somebody, like even when you get down to like certain characters, some of them characters, they have to do something to blend in. And then in order to access their power, then something come out or they got to change clothes or something like that. These people don't have to do anything. They can just walk around and that's how your gift should be. Okay, you can walk around normal in any given moment. You can access your gift. Not you got to go in a phone booth and change or some shit like that. So in the movie Push, they had a shapeshifter. And shapeshifter is the ability to transfer one's body through a natural means changing genetic and cellular structure to take on a different form, or they can be able to manipulate objects to change it, make it appear that it's there, make it appear that it's something, but it's not. And then, for example, in the Marvel X-Men, Mystique, who's also a shapeshifter with the ability to manipulate things, change body, structure, touch object, or manipulate object to appear that is one thing, but it's not, or appear that it's there, it's not.
Okay, so I don't remember. Do Mystique have to change into, like, can she do that in her normal form, or does she have to change into that blue being that she becomes to do that? Be honest, don't look like that's a legit question, because that goes to the point that I'm making, that in Push they didn't have to change into something. They didn't have to go and do something to be that. It was just them. All they needed to do was concentrate and focus. That's all they needed to do. They didn't need to go change clothes or.
So you don't think Mystique did the same thing? All she had to do is concentrate and focus too.
But then she had to change into another, like she had to change to her other forms to access that gift. That's what I'm asking.
Into the green form?
Yeah, it was blue. She was blue.
Blue.
Yeah. I don't remember. That's what I'm at. I really don't remember. Did she have to change?
Sure. I'm not sure.
Okay,
but you gotta keep in mind that that Marvel and DC they take from different things.
Right.
Different ancient, like they made her into blue. To my knowledge, there are certain beings within the cosmos galaxy that are blue.
Blue, right? And I get
that.
They
took from different things, and that's why I say how they mix and match and jumble.
Okay, I get that. Like that. Like I know you feel like I don't get what you're saying. Like for some reason you just got offended when I started saying it. It was better in explaining.
I mean, it hit a nerve.
But I'm telling you, like I don't disagree with the gifts, or that they got their knowledge from a source, and but you know how they do. They mix in the lies and the truth. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, again, with the shifter that was in Push, he could temporarily alter the physical appearance of an object by manipulating light, creating an illusion that will eventually fade. So with him, he could touch something, and like, hey, okay, like in that one scene where he had just wrote $500 on a piece of paper, and then said this is $5, and then it just basically changed, and a person saw what he wanted them to see, and he was able to do that with the case. He was able to do it with a lot of, I'm trying to like not tell too much of the movie, but he did that in different cases where different scenarios where he changed different things to make it look like another thing, because he was able to shapeshift it. What I'm saying is, he didn't have to go and do something. That's what I'm saying. He didn't have to go and do something. Nothing had to happen to him for that to happen. It was just his power. And because he was in the division before, again, just go back to what I'm saying. Everybody that basically didn't have distractions and they was able to focus on their gift, they mastered him. And he was raw at what he did.
I admit, Push did give a realistic perspective.
Thank you. That's all I was saying.
I have nothing against Push.
And I have nothing against DC and Marvel. I'm just being real that the way that they present it will make a person think that it ain't got nothing to do with them.
I wonder who did Push.
I don't know. I would have to look that up.
I mean, of course they said that would flop. Because
they said it did. It didn't do as well.
They quote unquote said it flopped. The reason why I suspect the reason why they said that is because folks are so dramatized by DC and Marvel that they didn't. A lot of them didn't pay attention and see that this was actually a more realistic perspective.
Because people are looking at it for entertainment purposes, and that is exactly my point.
Yeah.
When you watch a movie,
DC and Marvel don't go into what Push went into when they did talk about is actually telepathy and all that stuff. And,
And they went into gifts that goes beyond the 4 higher senses, that should come naturally to us. They went like the shadows, like even with the shadows, right? That's another example. The dude that they went, you can just put it like this, and you gotta hold it. But the dude that they went and got that shadowed old girl to keep her hidden so people couldn't see, like, so the shadows, they can cloak themselves and others, shielded people and objects from detection by other psychics like sniffs. The sniffs are the ones that got psychometry. The more powerful the shadow, the wider and more intense their cloaking effect. So remember, the one that they got, he could only cloak up to like 20 feet. And like an object, like the object or a person had to be like really close to him, because 20 feet is not that far. But the person had to be kind of close to him for him to cloak him. And it didn't last that long, especially against like sniffs and watchers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other ones that had psychic abilities. So now remember when they went into that building, they was like, somebody had cloaked the whole building.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how that person looked? Do you remember who that person was? It was an elderly Asian woman. Yes. So, and
probably had
experience.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, they showing you like the levels. Like, that's what I mean. It's like, it's levels to it. Like, you can have the same gift for somebody else, but if this person got more concentration and focus and experience, they're gonna be better at it than you. So the division, they wasn't like, what they was doing wasn't enhancing nobody's gifts for real. They was really killing people with that melanin, because that melanin was too strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they wasn't like really enhancing nobody's gifts. They was just creating a space for them to be able to concentrate and focus and master their own gifts. So if we was able, so that was the point of all this. If we was able to take that time and not have to focus on the bullshit that they want us to focus on, that we can enhance our gifts. If we had time to sit up and meditate and concentrate and focus and practice telekinesis and practice telepathy and practice, if we had the time to really actually do these things.
They want us to focus on 9 to 5s, religion, politics,
and which religion is against that type of stuff.
Yes.
So you won't, if you into religion, you're gonna be completely against that. That's gonna be of the devil if you of religion.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of this stuff they push in the mainstream is going to push you against knowing that these are gifts that you actually have. And that's my thing with Marvel and DC, is that the way that they present it it's like it further makes a person feel like this is something, this is just entertainment. This is not something I can really do. This is
this is DC and Marvel.
Right. This is just
like
something
they took
for entertainment.
our stuff, ancient stuff, and put it in DC, Marvel, and said this is for entertainment. Or they put it in sci-fi. So that's just sci-fi.
So it seemed like you agree with me and you get my point now, because yesterday you was kind of heated. Like, you cool today?
Yeah, I'm cool. I mean,
you ripped my bag. Anyway, we ain't gonna get into all that.
I see your perspective now.
But this is the same thing I was saying yesterday, but I told you just need to watch the full movie to get what I was saying. When I watched the full movie, I was astounded at how they were able to convey the gifts in the way that they did, where it wasn't over the top, but you was able to see what they were able to do.
Yeah, but you keep in mind that I've been watching DC and Marvel ever since I was like a little child. And of course I was brought up to view it as entertainment, because I was brought up from a religious household where that stuff was like suppressed. That stuff was like of the devil and all that stuff, and witchcraft and all that, and magic, and it was suppressed. But as I got older and came into the right knowledge and let all that religious stuff go and politics go, then I began to see reality or right knowledge.
I'm glad you said that, actually. Like the familiar bringing up, and like how even like a lot of those gifts like that within our community is like suppressed due to religion. So I grew up in a religious household.
We had to deal with a lot of stuff like I'm not having enough money for this. How are we gonna make ends meet, bills, and different all kinds of family issues. So
right, but so I want to go back to the religion aspect you just brought up though. So in my family, or my mother's side in particular, like was very religious. We had to go to church every Sunday and all that good stuff, right? And we went to one of them churches where church led us damn near all day long. You know what I'm saying? We getting home like we leave early in the new light and getting home in the evening, like 5-6 o'clock. But something that you just said, like how families are against that. So I have a relative. I'm not gonna say who that relative is on here, but I have a relative who was a healer. The whole family knew it, and it wasn't something that was hidden or that we didn't say anything about. But it wasn't really, like I told you, like it was a lot of different things in our family, like things that was experienced. I grew up like having a lot of different spiritual experiences that nobody really explained for real. It was a lot of superstitious cover-ups and things like that. But this particular person, know for a fact this person was healer to the point where if we was like sick or in any type of way, like we would not want this person to touch us, because that person, for how they gift worked was when they touch you, they take your pain. Like it literally goes into their body. So you're good, and now they're feeling your pain. And the family knew this, but nobody really explained it or talked to us about it. It was just a knowing, like, okay, we know. And then we say, oh, no, don't touch me, I ain't feeling good. You know what I mean? Because we know that this person could take on what we have. And it wasn't a fake thing. Like it's something that we all knew, because if this person touched you, what you was feeling would go away.
Didn't it have a type of healer or type of being in the Push movie?
Yeah, so they call them the Stitches. So they act as psychic surgeons who can heal or unheal damaged tissue by manipulating and reconstructing cells. So we, like a lot of us, that's a very common thing in a lot of our families. Because like this is somebody in my family, but I have another family member who was also a healer. And this person was...
What do you call them?
They call them Stitches.
What's the original?
Huh?
What's the original name? I mean,
healers. We just call them healers, yeah.
Okay.
But this person was, I can't even think of, like, sanctified. Like they was like really, really into religion. So they used all their healing they did in the name of Jesus.
Yeah.
But when I say this person was another powerful healer, she was powerful. And she was one of the ones that she didn't take your sickness. Like where it go into her body. She knew how to transmute it. So I think the other person
use a name, like name of Jesus, or
they give the power to.
Give the power,
but it was
not knowing that the power is within themselves.
Right. So let me say this. But the one person I was talking about, the first person, that person, because nobody taught this person hadn't developed theirs fully. They was able to take the sickness out of people, but they did not know how to transmute it, so that they didn't actually become sick. The other person I'm speaking of, they knew how to transmute that energy. So they would take the sickness from you and somehow transmute it where they wouldn't get sick. So you see what I'm saying? Like even in everyday life, that's what I'm saying. It was more relatable to me because I've seen this. I've seen the levels of it.
Witnessed it myself.
Yeah, you had an experience.
Yeah.
You don't have to say who, but can you share the experience? You don't have to say who it was though. But when you had a cut.
When I had a cut, a can, I believe it was a coffee can or bean can, had fell on my toe, and they had split it. So this particular person came in the kitchen, saw that my toe was split open, gets a Bible, opens it, starts reading it, and I'm looking at my toe closing up. And it stops bleeding.
And they say the Bible in the book of spells. Say what?
Wow.
Now I was saying, I told you, this other person I was talking about, both of the people, they use their gifts in the name of Jesus. And so I could see how a person would give the credit to, this character, this character in the Bible, and say that, oh, this person gets all glory and all praise, because this is what they've been taught. So they don't know that this power is coming like through them. They feel like if it is, no, they know it's coming through them, but they don't realize that it's coming through them through their own will.
Because we got Buddhist monks that heal, but they don't use the name of Jesus.
Right.
We got people within the Islamic that are healers. They don't use the name of Jesus,
but they still give their power to something else.
Yeah.
They don't. And don't get it twisted.
That
it's from within, but it is coming from a source. But when the thing is, like, when you give that source a name, and you attach it to a religion, you basically gave all the power that's within you to that source that you're claiming, and not the original source, but the source that you claim. Like, who was that? Bobby Hemming and Brother Panic had talked about this. Like, you can say I get my power from this mouse, and if you really believe that this mouse,
Mickey Mouse.
Well, I was talking about this computer mouse, but either or, Mickey Mouse, this computer mouse, whatever mouse. If you say this is where I get my power from, and you really feel it within your being that this is where I get my power from, that is where your source of power will come from. Well, at least in your mind, every time you do certain things, you're gonna be like, yeah, my power came from this, and you thus gave it the power. Unfortunately, in our community, our powers are suppressed. And one of the biggest reasons is because you get into certain things that they call divination. Like, according to their Bible, they're not supposed to be practicing these things. They're not supposed to be doing these things because of the devil. So this is why I guess it wasn't talked about in our household, because it's like giving credit. Like, it's like, no, we're not giving credit to that. Jesus is the reason why that happened. You don't say you a healer. Jesus used you to heal. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, it wasn't even a conversation. It was just like, we see what's going on, but it wasn't no discussion about it, because to discuss it, I guess, would be like you being vain by saying that you healed somebody. Even if you saying it like, you can say, I'm the one who did it. I'm the one who was used as a vessel to do it. But you have to give credit to this being in the Bible, or else it's of the devil. Because who else using you? If it ain't Jesus, then who else using you? It got to be the devil if it ain't Jesus.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of our gifts have been suppressed. And we won't tap into them because of that. I say this ever since I learned what this word means, because I didn't know what it meant. When I was looking at the Bible, and it was like, you can't do any type of divination, tarot, astrology, and all this type of stuff. For one, not even understanding what astrology is, or what these other tools of divination are. It's crazy to just go against it just because the Bible is saying you don't even understand what they are, what they do. Oh, because now it's of the devil. If you doing that, it's of the devil. But the part that got me about that was they threw the word soothsayer in there. And when I saw the word, I didn't know what it meant. So I looked it up. And soothsayer means truth teller. So I'm like, wait, what? Like, so you telling people don't listen to truth? Like, you shouldn't be listening to people that's telling the truth? Like, and this is okay?
That's the English. They throw words up in there, and you just like, what? It's meant to confuse and to...
and to throw you out.
Contradict.
So you don't tap into those powers within yourself. Yeah.
It's like they don't understand the term Elohim. Bible.
That is plural?
Yes, that is plural. And they may start saying, get into it all, it's the oneness, it's the Trinity. Or not understanding plural.
But see,
let us make men. Let us.
And also too, not only that, like, so the oneness that we are supposed to be experiencing is our connection back to source energy, which would be the Most High in whichever form you call that. Some people call it Jesus, some people call it Allah. Excuse me, we say Anu. You know what I mean? Like, it's different ways of expressing it. But all of it is still of the same source. Like, when it all boils down to it. And so that's what we're supposed to be moving our way back to. And I don't want this to turn into a religious conversation, because that's not really what this is about. This is really about our gifts. But unfortunately, we have to double back to that because religion and the government are two of the biggest suppressors of our gifts.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, I have to go back to it. It's really no way of really getting around it because
that's worldwide.
Yeah.
So it's not just in the U.S. It's in China and Russia, different places.
Anywhere that you have religion heavy like that, you got people giving away their power.
Yeah. Either you got religion or you got the government.
Yeah. Those are the two main sources. And it's like if one don't get you, the other one will. And that's the reality. And
those is actually false gods.
What's false gods?
Religion and government.
Oh, yeah.
Setting themselves up as though they're the God, the source.
Having you come to them for everything.
Yes.
And when it's all within you. Having you turn your back on things that you won't even take the time to understand because you feel like it's going to bring some type of evil into your life. And because you believe that, that's exactly what will happen to your life. If a person that's religious, like deeply religious, like start doing stuff like tarot, eventually, like if anything go wrong in their life, they'll try to, because that mindset is already there. If something good happened, it's God. If something bad happened, it's the devil. So if anything go bad in their life, it's because I started doing tarot, it's the devil after me. And so those things will manifest in their life, and they don't realize that they came from them.
Yeah,
they gave it that power. They don't realize that. Like when people talk about astrology, we watch a content creator. I like the young brother. Like I like it. I subscribe, even though he talk a lot of Christianity and he speak a lot of fear about other things because he don't understand it. But I would say he will admit he don't understand it, but he don't try to either. But he condemn it, and that's a weird thing to me because how do you condemn something that you don't even know about? As soon as somebody start bringing up astrology, it's like you can almost see his panties get in a bunch. Well, let me not say that. I don't want to be disrespectful, but you could just kind of see like something click off in his head, like it triggers him. You know what I'm saying? And if you get to really asking him questions, the base of why he triggered is because the Bible say don't get into none of that. So he's highly triggered by it without even understanding what it is. And I'm not with the horoscope type of astrology either. So I get that. Like I ain't with the reading, the daily horoscope and it's gonna say this gonna happen to you today. Like, nah, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about real astrology, where you getting into understanding the cosmos in relation to your physical being. All this shit matter. All of it play a part. You're not just one sign. So when people I get that bothers me too. People like, what's your sign? And they like, I'm a Taurus. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you a Taurus? That means you la la la. Like, yeah, but I'm all the signs. And the fact of the matter is that you go through, when you in your mother's stomach, you go through all them zodiacs. And some zodiacs become more prominent in your chart. So real astrology would deal with your birth chart. When you study astrology on that level, then you will have an understanding of people and their actions and why things are happening in their life and things they can do to change certain things. When you study astrology at that level, you understand a different level of things about a person, or the genetic makeup, or not genetic, but the spiritual makeup of a person. You know what I mean? But that's when you really get into astrology, not reading horoscopes, not just your sun sign, because other signs and different planetary alignments, they play different roles, and that can drastically change a person's personality. A person could be a one Taurus, can have the same birthday as another Taurus, but because they was born in different years, in different times, in different cities, you know what I'm saying? Their personalities may not be the exact same. They may have some similarities in some things, but some other things they're not going to have in common because other things in their chart. It's the whole chart, not just that one sign. Your sun sign is important, but it's other things in your chart that's just as important depending on the part of your life you speaking on. Like if you talking about, your Venus, that's going to talk about your relationships and your love life and things like that. If you're talking about Mercury, we talking about the way you communicate. You know what I mean? And depending on what sign is in it, that's going to determine like how you communicate. What's your hang-ups? What's your pros and cons in it? you know, what house you in. Let's say you're in the fifth house dealing with, you know, children and things like that. So like your the fun and stuff like that, your house of fun. So like different houses, different planets and different signs, all of it matters. So you can't just look at a person and say, yo, sun sign is this. So this is why people be like, nah, that shit ain't real. Because people be like, oh, you a Virgo, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, that person a Virgo, but they may not have all the Virgo traits because they may be stronger in certain other suits. Like I'm a Taurus, but I got a lot of air and fire in my chart. I got way more air and fire in my charts than I do earth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my typical person, like the typical personality trait of a Taurus, y'all may have some of those traits because that's my sun sign, but it's other things that's going to alter that too. And in addition to my environment, how I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
But you got something you want to say?
Oh no, I'm just listening. I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I guess that's really like the gist of what I had to say about that. I felt like this was a good conversation for us to have for the podcast because how heated you was about it, and I feel like you wasn't, you know, getting what I was saying. Like I wasn't trying to, you know, knock DC or Marvel because I love those movies. I watch them. I watch them. You know, we play the little video games, and you know, I got my characters that I like. You know, I'm a, you know, Joker, Harley Quinn. You know,
Let me to be frank, I knocked DC and Marvel because
you weren't knocking them yesterday.
No. Hear me out now.
Okay.
The reason why I say I knocked DC and Marvel is because the so-called creators, they don't give acknowledgement of where they actually got this stuff from. They don't talk about they got this from.
But Push didn't either, though.
Push? No. They didn't even want to come on and say telekinesis. They want to give different names.
But those are the names of the government. Now, so the government gave them, because when in the beginning of the movie, I don't mean to cut you out, but in the beginning of the movie when old girl was talking about it, that's those names: bleeders, wipers, shifter, like those. So she was she was just saying like those are the names that the government gave them. But she said, like when she was talking about the telekinesis, she was like the movers, and she was like those are basically the people that had telekinesis. But the government gave them these different little nicknames, you know, which I feel like they were simple ways to kind of categorize and know who is who. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say it's a good way to use, like, to teach, even though I would teach the real name. Like when I'm teaching my children about these different gifts, I'm teaching them the real names. But I do like the different more relatable names where it's like it's kind of describing the gift versus the more intellectual names where you have like, well, I don't know, I don't want to say it like that, but I'm saying when you explain this to children, I would say saying like a shifter, you know what I'm saying, is, well, we do say shapeshifters already, but no, telekinesis, saying a mover, like that's a child could remember that very easily versus you saying telekinesis, even though you know like you know what I'm saying, it's like you moving something with your mind, communication, you using like communication of your mind to kinetically to move something, right? So yeah, you know that when you break the word down intellectually, but when you talking to a child, you like, hey, a mover. This person is able to move objects with their mind. It's a good way to explain it. You know what I mean? So that's what I was saying. That was literally my whole point. That when cause that's what I was thinking about when I was watching. Like, dang, this is a good way to like bring home the explanation of our gifts to the children. Like, show them this movie, and then you can teach them the origins yourself. Like, even though the movie's not gonna give you the origins like that. No. You know what I'm saying? But well, some movies will, but like movies like this, not gonna give you the full origins.
More independent movies.
They probably would, yeah,
because they're not governed by or sanctioned by
to a certain degree.
Yeah, to a certain degree, like Hollywood or mainstream. Independent movie, they could tell more, or sneaking in before they get discovered and eventually get taken down. But by then, folks been recorded and all that stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my whole thing. Like, I just feel like it was a good way to explain it to children, or not even necessarily just children, but yeah, my main focus, my thought was children. Like, damn, this would be a good movie to show children and to have a conversation about it. Like, hey, like, these are what these gifts can do, and this is what, like, cause like if I'm showing a child like the movie Push versus showing them a Marvel movie, I feel like children will be more likely to relate to and be like, oh, I could do that, versus like them thinking that they're gonna change into another being, and you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it's just more relatable, and I think that they will be able to grasp onto that better than if I was using like a Marvel or DC movie. It just seemed too fantasy like. If that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, it seemed too fantasy like. What? I know. There go that face again. There go that face again.
I don't know, because Apocalypse.
Oh, here we go. Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Apocalypse and Marvel. Dang. I forgot his really original name. What they call him. Something. Something. It talks about his ability to, as a shifter, to use the telekinesis, telepathy, psychometry, ability to heal, the ability to grow. Of course, Apocalypse just talks about how he got his stuff from ancient Kemetic, ancient Egyptian.
Okay. I mean, like I say, I get that. It's just, my thing is when I look, like, okay, look at the image right here, right? Like, now this don't have all the DC and Marvel characters, but I'm saying, like, look at the images of the ones that look at the images. Like, now these are not all DC characters, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, you see how, because this is mixed in. This is Capcom versus Marvel. So, or is that DC or Marvel? That's DC, right?
Yeah,
that's DC. Okay, so look how they all. You see how it's got that whole.
That's Marvel.
That's Marvel.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw Wolverine. Okay, but okay, you see how, like, it all looked like fantasy like. Now you watch the movie Push, you got people that look like you, that's wearing clothes like you, that's eating food that you eat. They got them eating ramen on the street, going, you know, like, so it's like it's just, it's relatable. That's all I'm saying. It's relatable. Like, when you look at this, you think entertainment. You don't think seriously. Well, now, if you know, then you know. Yeah. But if you don't know and you looking at this, you purely looking at this is like fantasy, entertainment.
You got entertainment. You got somebody with a shield, Captain American shield, just throwing it and taking out a whole entire army with just one shield.
Or you got, because that last thing Wolverine, or you got knives just popping out of somebody's hand at will.
Oh boy,
this was making you mad yesterday.
Here she goes.
You got somebody
take them out.
You got somebody getting bit by a radioactive spider. They swinging from buildings.
Wow.
People get bit by spiders every day. B.
Funny how you don't say that about Joker or Harley Quinn.
They not superheroes. They not pretending to be either. So like,
but actually, Joker and Harley Quinn is against them because they see them as pretenders,
right?
False gods,
right?
Fake gods.
So they using, like, Joker using in his intellect and wit and shit, like, and you know, him being clever and shit and tricks and shit like that. Like, that's not somebody that's out here pretending to be like a damn superhero like Batman. I see why he can't stand Batman.
Well, I can't stand Batman either.
I see why he can't stand. Like, get your holier than thou self-righteous ass up out of here. You ain't got no gifts unless you got money face ass.
That's like Iron Man too. Take
Yeah.
all his gadgets away. What do you got?
Exactly.
What you got?
Worm food. Like, nah, for real. Now, see, when I was saying this yesterday, that was that vein. That vein.
Well, anyway, Apocalypse name is El Sabanor.
It starts with L.
In Sabanor.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say. Oh, he started with L. Okay. We're still recording. We be done in like 5 minutes.
It goes all the way back to originally to Sumerian god or being.
But all of them go back into like that time or era, either that or Egyptian. You know, like so. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. It's like they do.
Thundercats is originally taken from. Go back to Kemet.
The Lyrans.
Yeah, the Lyrans.
They go back to the Lyrans.
And
actually.
you're talking about Mom Ra. Mom Ra is more of a reptilian being who go all the way back to Egypt.
Yeah. So I'm saying, but do they really? Do they? It's like, but they don't really make you feel like this is you. It makes like when you watching it. Oh, excuse me. When you watching it, it makes you feel like they talking about somebody else. You do you get what I'm saying now? Yeah. It's like when you watching it don't feel like they talking about me. Like I said, unless you have studied these things, you know it already. But the average person don't, and the average person is turned off bad for one because, like I said, religion, government, and upbringing. So they like. If I got all these powers, how come I can't do this? How come I can't do that? Or why my life like this? So it's unbelievable. That's all my point is. It's unbelievable because they make it look so much like a fantasy to entertain you that it's unbelievable. I could go on and on and on, but I know you have a rebuttal because you always have a rebuttal. You know what I'm saying, to defend them. But I'm saying this shit is unrealistic. When we look at that. Because I know of the gifts that the underlying gifts they have, I get it. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, that don't look like us. And not just that, they really don't even give you characters that really look like us. Like,
and what?
For the most part, they give you some, but it's not a lot. Let's be real. Most of them characters
what about
don't
Black
look.
Panther?
Okay, I'm saying for the most part. If we're gonna look at, come on, like let's be real. If we go, no, because I'm not trying to discredit the ones they do, but I'm saying if we're gonna be real as a whole, come on, man, as a whole, even in the Theft of the Black Guys, Theft of the Gods, they said like as a whole, it's more characters that don't look like us than do.
Yeah.
But they using the gifts that came from us.
Yeah, because they stole all that shit.
Okay.
And then they label them out. Oh. The creators.
Right.
Yeah,
even with Superman.
Even Stan Lee. He ain't create shit.
Even with Superman. How come Superman don't look like us? But those are a lot of gifts that come from us. Like a lot of the gifts that he has, like, and even with him coming from a different planet and all that, like all that it comes from us. But how come he don't look like us? And no Superman you ever see one that's melanated. Why? They don't want you to connect to that energy at all. But in the movie Push, they had different. That's another thing that I liked about it. They didn't just cater to one culture or race of being or skin tone.
Yeah.
Everybody had gifts, no matter, like, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it was different. It was Asians and black people and Caucasians.
And guess what they were using to inject folks with?
With melanin. But of course, they didn't say that. They just kept saying it's a chemical compound. I don't think they even gave it a name.
All I know it was black.
It was black, and everybody they injected it in, it was killing them.
Yeah, melon.
Yeah. And melanin, whether people know it or not, is a very high commodity. They pay lots for melanin. When they withdrawing your blood, like they using your melanin. They create medicine and all type of stuff from our melanin. So it's not too far fetched. And like I said, I don't recall. I have to watch it again, but I don't recall them giving that drug, whatever that was. I don't recall them giving it a name. Mm-mm. They just called it a chemical compound, like a medicine. They're like, we've been giving them this medicine or whatever, and nobody's able to take the dose or whatever. But they never gave it a name. But it was black. And when people was dying instantly, and when a girl started getting sick, what she started, her blood was turning what? Black. And they had to give her an anti-immune suppressant so her body wouldn't reject it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. They be putting stuff in these movies that, you know, that be kind of... You go with that face. We're about to wrap this up. This is the video is literally about to end right now. So... I just want us to say our little pieces and stuff like that, and we're going to get up out of here. We may do it in part 2. You are chosen.
144,000 chosen trees.
Assured. We are created alchemists, transmuting your thoughts into gold.
Ariska Yale.
Yes, ask me.
Meet me in the laboratory.